Namaskaram friends. So in this video I am going to talk about life and also explore in its another dimension. So today's dimension is security, internal security as well as external security. But I today focused on external security, like security forces which are acting on our borders. So we have 193 UN recognized countries, okay, and each and every country have their border, their forces deploy on that border. If any country is surrounded by water, then navy is very much strong. If any country is surrounded by land, then army is very much strong. If any country is landlocked and no, you can say land is not very conducive for war and also not surrounded by water, then air forces play a very significant role. So why only air, water, air forces, navy as well as army? Why not space forces? Why not fire forces? So human beings are made up of the 5 elements of existence: air, water, soil, fire as well as space. So when we talk about security, that means any untoward activity happening on our soil. For example, if I talk about India, India is surrounded by a large large section of India is surrounded by land as well as water. But we also take help of air forces because on many terrain and on many water areas, navy and armies are not capable of solving or tackling that situation. So it is not just about external threat. External threat is of a space, of a terrorism, of a infiltration of boundaries, infiltration of spacecraft, infiltration of submarines. So we have to protect our country from all the forces. And who are the people who acting on it? All the country of the whole world. But when India established friendly relationship with some countries, then our enemy country, that means which are not agree on our term or on our terms or on their terms, and some, you can say, some differences occur between them. For example, in case of India, Pakistan and China are like an enemy country, because as time passes, as time going on, they threatening the country for terrorist activity, for, you can say, war-like activity, for, like, say, in terms of vaccine, many countries say that it is like a war. Biological warfare. Vaccine is like a biological warfare. In world wars, many chemical warfare is also going on. In nowadays, space war is a very much very important talking, which are very much in discussion, very much in debate. That means we have to secure our country from all the front, from the space front, from the air front, from the land front, from the water front, from the cyber warfare front, from the you can say biological warfare front, from the fire war front, because nowadays cyber threat is very much common. People not fighting, like in case of COVID-19, there is no requirement of army, you can say navy and air. It is a requirement of our doctors. In case of cyber security, it is a requirement of engineers. So we have to secure our country from all the front, from cyber front, from you can say health sector front, from army, from the land, from water front, as well as from the fire and space front. So why I choose this topic? Because we have, on the whole world, we are 193 countries. In all the 193 countries, every have their border and everyone deploy their forces. But if we come to an agreement that we all agree on that terms and do not, you can say, kill innocent people, civilian as well as army, and do not threat the establishment, talk on any matter, whichever matter concern for any country to another country, talk on that matter. Solution, you can say, discussion, debate is the only solution, not the war. When war is going on, many innocent lives are killing, many economic situations are disturbed, many weaponry which are innovation, or you can say funding, we fund our, you can say, resources on innovation of guns, innovation of missile, innovation of gunpowder, innovation on any more arms and tanks, arsenals, because we invest our money in that area. That means we invest our time, resources to killing the people, not to enhance their life. So this is the big threat for the whole humanity, because every country have their forces, and all the forces fighting with the other forces. Ultimately we are killing the humanity. We are deploying our resources for innovation and research of the machines, equipment. If we invest our money and resources for developing machine, we have to use that machine for the well-being of the humanity, for the well-being of a nation, for the well-being of the society, for exploration of many other different dimensions of the creation. But we invest our time, resources for the in the innovation of new machine, new spacecraft, not for the well-being. Yes, some section for the well-being, but most section for the destruction. But we have to aware people that if we invest our time, our resources, our money in that direction, we have to utilize it for our well-being, because we are the most sophisticated machine on planet Earth. Whatever we produce with the help of this mind, with whatever situation occurring in the whole world. So all the people invest their time or resources for understanding the nature, understanding the mystery of the nature, their rule, then understanding their mechanism and what types of problem prevalent in the whole world. They have to invest their money and resources into that. Ultimately, when we solve this problem, we live a good full-fledged life. But in terms of war, continuously war is going on in one country to another country, here and there, not on a large scale but smaller scale. In every part of the world war is going on. So we have to stop this. Because people are innocent, people are killing in this, and it is a very, you can say, irrelevant task. It is a very irrelevant task which is performed by the humanity to killing the other people. So it is the responsibility of the leaders. It is the responsibility, because what soldiers do is on the command of their leaders, on the command of their chiefs. So we have to aware the leaders of each and every country that make program and policy for betterment of the humanity, not for killing people in the world, like World War I, World War II, regional war, Cold War. For example, war between India and Pakistan, war between USA and Russia, war between Iran and Israel, war within Syria, war within Turkey, war in Middle East country, war in Africa, war in China, war in Russia, war in Japan. All the places war is going on. I am talking about external war, not internal war. There are many dimensions. There are many dimensions of security: internal security, external security, many dimensions in internal security, many dimensions in external security. But today I am talking about external security. That means security of one country from another country. So in each and every country have their own rule, regulation, and they have their own expenditure on their defense. So we have to, on a UN level, on a multilateral level, because when UN level talks going on, multi level talk going on, bilateral level talk going on, it is basically to resolve the problem of their region and make program policy for the betterment of the human being. Like war going on between Russia and Ukraine, they are capable of solving, when they sit together, they are capable of solving whatever their differences are. But there are problems that other country do not come on our terms and condition of other country. But we have to understand that each and every country have their own sovereignty. If one country have to compromise on the condition of other country have to compromise on the condition of another country. So in this manner problem is solved. Problem is not solved in terms of war, is because one country always think that he is the superpower, and it is the main core problem of the every war. USA think he is a superpower, Russia think he is a superpower, China think he is a superpower. Many countries come together, form a multilateral group, they think this organization is a superpower. Many bilateral talk going on, they think they are a superpower in terms of economy, in terms of security, in terms of polity, in terms of resources, in terms of agriculture, in terms of defense, in terms of military, research, science, in every arena. Which country is advanced in one area, they think he is the master in that area and then exploit other country. And these are the problem of the many warlike situation. So we have to not only talk about this dimension, we have to find out the core problem of each and every problem, core solution of each and every problem. Because if external threat is going on, it is that war between one country to another country. That means we are not come on terms of the solution of that dimension. For example, if one country invade into another country. On one country, you can say announce a war on another country. It is basically for ego region, resource region, expanding their territory, for capturing resources, for sending their equipment which they develop through research and technology. For example, why war is very many country, why many country want war is happening in one region or another region, because they want to sell their products, they want to sell their arms and ammunition, their tanks, their defense equipment, so that they earn money. That means they invest their money, their resources, their time in developing arms, and then they also want to trade or sell their arms to other countries. So if wars are not going on in one region, then how other countries sell, or you can say deploy and trade their defense equipment? So we have to solve this problem on multi-sectoral level, because what is the problem of other people is a solution of another people. Okay, if I talk about for the betterment of humanity, if I stop war in one country, it is the betterment of the humanity, but it is also impacting the trade of the other country, which is, you can say, invest their time and resources in developing new arms and ammunition. So we have to come to a point that as a whole, as a humanity, we are 8 billion people. We have to solve the problem for the whole humanity, not for a particular region, not for a particular nation, not for a particular country, not for a particular group, not for a particular organization, multilateral, bilateral, whatever it is. We have to talk about the whole humanity. If, let's say, if war is a bad situation, that means killing people is a bad situation, that means war is not going on in that manner, arms and ammunition, if people invest their time and resources on developing arms and ammunition, then it is their right to sell that, so that they earn money and live their living and live their life. So we have to solve the problem of the core of it. That means we do not invest our money and time much on developing arms and ammunition, very less on it. And each and every human being, each and every leader of a country come on our terms that we invest our time and on money on doing this activity and not developing more, if or not developing arms and ammunition. If they invest their time on developing, let's say, on agriculture or for spreading the culture or for education, that means they invest their time and money on it, they earn from it. So at the last they have no frustration that they invest their time and their money on arms and they do not sell it, because they do not invest their money and time on arms. Then if they do not sell it, then there is no problem if all the country adopt that policy, but then we solve that problem. Then we solve this problem very quickly. But problem is that some country agree on this term, some country do not agree on this term. So we have to make program and policy which is for the betterment of the people, and also all the leader of a country agree on it. If any one leader not agree on it, and they invest their money and resources on developing arms and ammunition, then with the help of that arm they kill the people of other country. And nowadays we know that people who are most, you can say, advanced in defense, they rule other country, not, you can say, culturally, not emotionally, not knowledgeably, not spiritually, but through violence, and it is not good for any country. So to protect it, so if let's say of 193 country, more than 150 country agree on it, but let's say 20-25 country not agree on it, so the other country who are agree on that terms, you can say, collectively secure their boundaries by investing some amount of money and resources in that arena, so that if people who are not agree on it, let's say 20 countries not agree on the terms of non-violence, so if any situation untoward activity happening going on for violence or for war, then they are capable of protecting their boundary. War is not good, but if any other country do not agree on that terms and they continuously, you can say, invading into other country and start war, then it is also required for the other people that protect your boundary, protect your people by invading war in that country. So the solution of this problem is each and every leader have to come on terms and condition of non-violence, and if some not, then a group of people come together and protect their boundary through war, and also at the same time spread the knowledge of non-violence, like Buddha, Mahavira, Jesus, Shiva, Krishna. All these leaders, all these, you can say, god-like figure are always try to give best practices like yoga, meditation, non-violence, knowledge, opening different dimension of mind, so that each and every human being understand their real nature, which is hidden within their own mechanism. And if they understand this, then they solve all the problem very quickly, very sophisticatedly, because violence is the not solution of any problem. Like from surface to core, from gross to subtle. So war is a gross situation, love, non-violence is a subtle situation. So we always try to move from gross to subtle, from surface to core, and the core and the subtle dimension is love, core and subtle dimension is non-violence, core and subtle dimension is humanity, core and subtle dimension is intelligence, core and subtle dimension is opening different dimension of your mind. So always, many countries say we are 8 billion people, let's say 1 billion people achieve this feat. So it is the responsibility of the whole 1 billion people is develop tools, technology, methods through which you spread this knowledge in all the 7 billion people. So as time passes ahead, as they come near to their death, they understand the reality of their life. Because it is true now, when we born, we live some life and we dead. Whatever activity you do, if you conduct this life in a full-fledged manner, in a good manner, in a sophisticated manner, then we live a good life, our family live a good life, our community live a good life, our whole nation live a good life, and in particular the whole world live a good life. And it is the responsibility of each and every human being. When a child is born, we have to inculcate this type of knowledge in their mind, that you first live a good full-fledged life, understand the mystery of nature, whatever the tools, technology required, each and every country come together, because it is very much in our hand, it is very much in our control, that we understand our mechanism. Whatever problem occur in the whole world, we have to solve it and enhance and develop tool, technology, and understand the mystery of nature for opening different dimension of mind. Because as a human being, our responsibility is to open different dimension of mind, because no other creature has such a sophisticated mechanism like mind. So is it our not responsibility to indulge in violence, killing other people, destroying environment, polluting air, polluting water, polluting soil? No, we have to, whatever nature gives us, we have to respect it, protect it, and use it for the well-being of our life, and also on daily basis adopt certain practices, certain rituals, certain sadhanas, so that we sync our mechanism with the whole cosmos and open different dimension of mind. So in terms of security, we make program and policy on UN level, on national level, on regional level. This is not going to solve. We have to work on each and every human being, volunteers, private organizations, social activists, NGOs, government. Try to inculcate the knowledge of humanity in each and every human being, wherever they live, whatever the level of understanding of that people. On that level, we have to work on from gross to core. If people are very, let's say some people are very intellect, we have to tell them you have to spread this knowledge very quickly and on all the level, because intelligence is also vary in people to people, because many people invest their time and their resources or opening the dimension of mind, but many people not, who invest their time and their money, they open different dimension, but people who are not, they are not capable of opening that dimension. So we have to work on from gross to subtle, from, you can say, from less intelligence to higher intelligence, from this region to that region, from this age group to that age group, from animate to inanimate. That means from atomic to cosmic, from physical to non-physical, from this dimension to that dimension, from before the first beginning, after the last beginning, between the first creation and last creation, everything we have to understand our mind, and we make robots and other things for doing other activity, because as a human being, we have to first control our population, and whatever, let's say if our control population 4 billion people are present on planet Earth, so we have to enhance the life of each and every human being of the 4 billion people on all the level, on physical level, mental level, energy level, emotional level, and on a blissful level, so that we are synced with the nature, and whatever our role and responsibility, we fulfill that in our lifetime. So I hope you love this lecture and enjoy this lecture and gain some perspective and some beautiful knowledge from it. So namaskaram, thank you.